A few months ago, I went on a business trip. It was one of those intense, high pressure conferences in a city far from home. Days packed with meetings and presentations, followed by long, lonely evenings in a sterile hotel room. You know the drill: the room service, the bad TV, the quiet hum of the air conditioning that makes you feel even more isolated. I was stressed, exhausted, and honestly, a little bit disconnected from my own life back home. I was just on autopilot, navigating the demands of work. I wasn't really feeling anything beyond the pressure. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, my colleagues and I went for a quick drink at the hotel bar. Most of them headed up to their rooms soon after, but I lingered. I just wasn't ready to face the silence of my own room. I sat there, nursing a glass of wine, staring into the flickering hotel fireplace. That's when I saw him. Tall, dark hair, with eyes that seemed to hold a quiet understanding even before he spoke. He was alone too, sitting at the bar, scrolling on his phone. He caught my eye, offered a polite, casual smile, and I, against my better judgment, smiled back. We started talking. Harmless at first. Work, the conference, the city, travel. He wasn't a local either, just another business traveler, adrift in the same sea of temporary anonymity. But there was something in his presence, a spark, a crackle of something new, something different. He listened intently, he laughed easily at my jokes, and I found myself feeling interesting, desired in a way that felt fresh and exhilarating, something I hadn't felt in a long time, or perhaps hadn't noticed feeling in the comfortable familiarity of my long-term relationship. The drinks flowed, the conversation deepened, and then, without even realizing how the lines blurred, his hand brushed mine over the table as he reached for his drink. Gasps. A jolt went through me. My heart hammered, a frantic drum against my ribs. A very small, very panicked voice in my head screamed, "Stop! What are you doing?" But another, much louder voice, a reckless, thrill-seeking voice, whispered, "Just a little further. Just see what happens." It was intoxicating, this forbidden electricity. We left the bar, supposedly heading to our separate rooms on separate floors. But we didn't. We paused at the elevators. The air between us was thick, electric with unspoken desire and possibility. He looked at me, his gaze searching, questioning. And I looked back, my resolve crumbling under the weight of an unfamiliar craving. No words were needed. It was a silent, consensual dive into the unknown. And in that precise moment, all I felt was the wild, intoxicating rush of adrenaline. I wanted to escape, to feel something raw and new, to forget the routine, forget the stress, forget everything and everyone for just a little while. We ended up in his room. The details are hazy, blurred by the alcohol and that potent, dangerous cocktail of fear and thrill. But I remember the feeling, the utter surrender, the intense, consuming present moment. For those fleeting hours, I wasn't myself. I wasn't Mark's girlfriend, the woman bee yielding a future. I was just a woman, responding to a stranger's touch, living entirely in that dangerous, exhilarating bubble. Every touch, every kiss, every whispered word felt like an act of defiance, a liberation. Sighs. And yes, a betrayal. But the thrill was so overwhelming, so consuming, it pushed the guilt down, far down, into a locked, unreachable box. Then it was over. The morning light, cold and unforgiving, crept through the gap in the curtains, and just like that, the bubble burst. The thrill evaporated, leaving behind a chilling void. The person next to me was a stranger, and the person I was, in that moment, was also a stranger to myself. The locked box of guilt sprang open, unleashing an overwhelming flood of shame, disgust, pure, unadulterated horror at what I had done. My heart physically ached, a crushing weight in my chest. I wanted to rewind time, to scream, to disappear. I got dressed, my hands shaking, my eyes refusing to meet his. We exchanged a few hollow pleasantries, empty words of, "It was nice meeting you," that felt like acid on my tongue. I practically ran out of that room, down the silent corridor, and locked myself in my own. I cried until my eyes burned, until my throat was raw. The relief of being alone was immense, but it was dwarfed by the crushing weight of the secret I now carried. The flight home was torture. Every bump of turbulence felt like a judgment. Every kind, loving text from Mark felt like a dagger twisting in my gut. I kept replaying it. Every sickening detail, every moment of weakness, every fleeting second of thrill that had cost me so much. Whispers. How could I have done this? How could I have betrayed someone so good, so trusting, someone I genuinely love? It's been months now, and the guilt, it's a living thing inside me. It gnaws at me every single day. When Mark looks at me with love in his eyes, I feel like a fraud. When he touches me, I flinch internally, remembering another touch, a forbidden one. I've become hyper-aware of him, of us, desperately analyzing our relationship, trying to find a reason, an excuse, a fundamental flaw that would justify my monstrous act. But there isn't one that truly holds up. Was it the stress? The loneliness? The fleeting desire to feel seen by someone new? To prove I was still desirable outside of our comfortable, predictable routine? Maybe it was just a moment of profound weakness, a craving for chaos in an otherwise ordered life. I don't know. I honestly don't. All I know is that I broke something, irrevocably, within myself. And I've potentially shattered the foundation of our entire future if he ever found out. The secret is heavy. It sits on my chest, suffocating me. I haven't told Mark, crying. I'm terrified of hurting him beyond repair, of destroying everything we've built, of seeing that loving gaze in his eyes turn to hatred, to contempt. But keeping it is also destroying me. It's like carrying a slow-acting poison. It changes you. It makes you question everything about who you are, what you're capable of. I see myself differently now. I see my capacity for selfishness, for deceit, for profound betrayal. This isn't about looking for pity or forgiveness from you all. This is just me finally saying it out loud, admitting it. Because living with this, pretending it never happened, is a personal hell I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. If you've ever been in a similar place, or if you're ever tempted, please think about the aftermath. The thrill, it's fleeting. It burns bright and fast. But the guilt stays with you, a relentless, burning scar, and it changes everything.